Hello, pupils. How are you all? Hope you're all fine and healthy. I welcome you all to another virtual class. Hope you have been studying your notes from the previous sessions. Please do well to study your notes for the upcoming exam. Today, we are going to be doing justice to another topic in English language. But before we move to the topic for today, let us quickly recap what we've done in the previous class. In the previous class, we spoke on the forms of do and have. We spoke on the different forms of do and have. How we can use different forms of do and have in what? In sentences, isn't it? Now, today, we're going to be moving to a new topic, which says adverb. Adverb. Again, adverb. Now, before we go into what adverb is all about, let's quickly look at the lesson's objective. The lesson's objective says, at the end of the lesson, the pupils should be able to A, write short note on adverb, B, give examples of adverb. That is, during the course of this lesson, you must be able to tell me what adverb is all about. And likewise, give me examples of adverb. Now, let's now move into the subject matter. The subject matter, as you have seen in your screen, is what is adverb. Now, what is adverb? An adverb is a word that modifies, that is, describes a verb, an adjective, or even another adverb. Again, an adverb is a word that modifies a verb. That is, it describes, it gives meaning, it gives more meaning to a verb. An adjective, that is, it modifies or qualifies an adjective, it describes an adjective, or even another adverb, that is, it modifies even another adverb. Now, let's now look into the examples of adverb that we have. Now, the first set of examples is talking about an adverb describing a verb. Do not forget from the definition, we said an adverb is a what? Is a word that modifies a verb. An adverb is a word that modifies a verb, describes a verb, an adjective, or even another adverb. So the first thing on that definition is what? Is that an adverb is a word that modifies a verb. Now, we are now going to be looking at examples on how adverb can modify or describe a what? A verb. Can modify or describe a verb. The first example under that is what? Tolulope sings loudly in the shower. Tolulope sings loudly in the shower. Now, the first question, or the question I can put to you, before you can tell me this, is that how is Tolulope singing? If I ask you, how is Tolulope singing? Now you tell me, Tolulope sings loudly in the shower. Tolulope sings loudly in the shower. Is that taken out? Good. Now, that sings is the verb, isn't it? Now, what is now giving meaning, or what is describing that verb? What is modifying that verb is the loudly that follows the sings. Isn't it? We said sing is what? Is a verb. Is that also? Now, and we said an adverb describes or modifies a verb. Now, since we say sings or sing is what? Is a verb. Now, what describes or modifies that verb, which is sing, is what? Is loudly. That is, how does Tolulope sing? That's the question. How does Tolulope sing? Tolulope sings loudly. Tolulope sings loudly. If I'm asking you, how does Tolulope sing? You tell me, Tolulope sings loudly. That loudly will now tell me, okay, that means Tolulope sings on top of her voice, very loud. Is that also? So that is an adverb. The adverb is describing what? Is describing the verb sing. Is describing what? The verb sing. I could as well say Tolulope sings in the shower without putting loudly. But now I want to tell people how loud, how much Tolulope sings. Then I said Tolulope sings loudly, loudly in the what? In the shower. Is that taken out? Good. Now the second one says John ran quickly to school. John ran quickly to school. John ran quickly to school. What is the verb there? The verb there is what? Is ran. The verb in that sentence is what? Is ran. Now, how does John run? How does he run? Now, the answer was that John ran quickly. John ran quickly to what? To school. John ran quickly. That is to say that he is a fast runner. He ran quickly to school. That is telling me how much John ran to what? To school. So the word ran here is the what? Is the verb. Isn't it? That's the past tense of what? Of run. Now, the adverb there, which qualifies this verb ran, is what? Is quickly. Adverb there is what? Is quickly, because the adverb is one modifying or describing the verb. It is describing the verb ran. It's telling me how much John ran to what? To school. How does he run to school? He ran very quickly. He runs very quickly. Is that taken out? So the word quickly is telling me how much John runs to what? To school. John ran quickly to what? To school. Is that taken? Good. Now the third one says the lady walks majestically into the office. The lady walks majestically into the office. Now, can one of you tell me what the verb is in that sentence? The verb in that sentence is what? Is walk. Is what? Is walk. When you walk, it is a verb. It is an action word. Is that also? You walk. Now, the adverb there is what? Is majestically. Majestically. That is, the lady walks majestically into the what? The office. The word majestically is trying to describe how the lady walks into the what? Into the office. That is, she walks majestically. She walks slowly. She walks very slowly into the what? Into the office. She did not just bag into the office or just run into the office or walk fast into the office. She walks majestically in a very, very interesting manner. Is that taken out? Good. So now, adverb. These adverbs are what? Describing a verb. They are describing what? The verbs in each of these sentences. Is that taken out? So the first one is loudly, which describes the verb sings. The second one is what? Is quickly, which describes the verb ran. The third one is majestically, which describes the word, the verb walks. Is that taken? Good. Now let's look into the second form of examples. The second form is an adverb describing an adjective. You don't forget that the first one we did was an adverb describing a verb. An adverb describing a verb. That is describing an action. Now, this one is an adverb describing an adjective. An adverb describing an adjective. Do not forget that an adjective also describes or modifies a noun or a pronoun, isn't it? Now, an adverb can as well describe an adjective itself. It can describe what? An adjective. How does an adverb describe an adjective? Let's look at the example. Daniel is very tall. Daniel is very tall. Look at that example. Very, very sweet example. Daniel is very tall. Now, if you look closely at the sentence, here we have very and tall, isn't it? Now, the word tall is an adjective. And this adjective is describing the what? It's describing the noun Daniel. That is, we can say, if you say Daniel is tall, that tall is what is an adjective because it is describing how Daniel is. That is, it's telling us that Daniel is what is tall. Now, this very that we have here is what we call an adverb. The very is now describing the adjective tall. That is, Daniel is very tall. Now, this very now is now describing how tall Daniel is, saying he is very tall. That is, he is not just tall. No, people can just be tall, not too tall. But now, if somebody is very tall, that very you are adding to the sentence is what we call adverb. So it is this very that is describing the adjective tall. So the tall is the adjective, right? Isn't it? That is, the tall is the one describing Daniel. Now, the very that you are seeing before tall is the one describing the what? The adverb tall. The adjective tall. Is that taken out? So now, Daniel is very tall. The word very is the adverb describing the adjective tall. See, look at what we have in the bracket. It said, very is the adverb describing the adjective tall. Is that understood? Now, the second example says, Esther is amazingly beautiful. Esther is amazingly beautiful. Yes, Esther, you are amazingly beautiful. I know you're smiling. Yes, you are amazingly beautiful. Yes, that is a very good sentence. Esther is amazingly beautiful. Now, let's look at the word beautiful. The word beautiful is the adjective, right? The adjective is describing Esther, telling us that Esther is beautiful, isn't it? Esther is the noun. Esther is beautiful. Yes, that's the adjective. The adjective there is beautiful. Now, the word amazingly. Now, amazingly now comes into the frame, into the sentence, to what? To give more meaning to the adjective beautiful, to describe the adjective beautiful. Now, the question now is, how beautiful is Esther? Yes, you told us that Esther is beautiful. Yes, but now how beautiful is she? Now you not tell us that Esther is amazingly beautiful. Esther is amazingly beautiful. That amazingly is the what? Is the adverb. Is the one describing the what? The adjective beautiful, telling us how beautiful Esther is. Amazingly beautiful. Look at what they wrote there. He said, amazingly is the adverb describing the adjective beautiful. Is that understood? Good. Now, an adverb describing another adverb. This is the third form of our definition. Don't forget that our definition says an adverb is a word that describes a verb. That's the first one. We've done that. The second one says that an adverb is a word that describes a what? An adjective. We've done that likewise. That's the second one. And last but not least, he said an adverb can likewise describe another adverb. That is, an adverb describes another adverb. Now, you might be wondering, how does an adverb describe another adverb? Now, look at the example we have. The first one says, he runs very quickly. He runs very quickly. Don't forget that an adverb describes a what? A verb. Now, the verb here is run, right? Now, we have it. He runs quickly. Quickly is what? Is an adverb. Isn't it? Telling us how quickly or how much he can run. Telling us that he can run quickly. Now, see the word very again. The word very is another adverb describing the adverb quickly. So we have very and quickly to be two adverbs describing each other. That is, the very is describing what? The quickly. He runs very quickly. Is that taken? Good. Now, the second one says, he eats incredibly fast. He eats incredibly fast. How does he eat? He rushes his food within 5 minutes or within 2 minutes. He has finished a bowl of eba. That's how quickly, how fast he can eat. He eats fast. Fast is an adverb. Isn't it? Fast is an adverb. Now adding incredibly to it is another adverb describing how fast he can eat. He eats incredibly fast. Those are two adverbs, isn't it? So incredibly is an adverb describing another adverb, fast. Incredibly is an adverb describing another adverb, fast. So do not misinterpret this. An adverb describing another adverb is different from an adverb describing an adjective. Do not forget that when we were treating an adverb describing another adjective, there is always a noun. Don't forget that a noun, an adjective describes a noun. So when the adverb now comes in, the adverb now comes in to what? To describe the adjective. Telling us how much the person can do anything. Now, but here we do not have any noun here. That's to tell us that we only have adverb. Whenever we are not having any noun, he runs, we are having a verb. So these words are not describing a noun. They are describing the verb runs, how he runs. He runs quickly. Now, adding very again is another verb, is another adverb, which gives us very quickly, 2 adverbs. Second is incredibly fast, 2 adverbs likewise. So now, in summary, we have an adverb provides greater description to a verb. That is, it gives a bigger description, a greater description to what? To a verb, an adjective, and even to another adverb, just as we have done during the course of our lesson. That is, it gives description of a noun, of a verb, an adjective, and another adverb. Is that taken? Good. Now let's look at the evaluation. Now we said, what is adverb? What is adverb? We've done this, we've said this during the course of our lesson, what an adverb is. Now, the second one says, give 10 examples of adverb. Give 10 examples. I believe you can even give me as much as 100 examples of adverb. So just give me 10 of them. Give me 10 examples of what? Of an adverb. Is that understood? Now, please ensure you study your notes and prepare for your coming exams. Is that taken out? Please, before I go, I would like to quickly tell you this. Always wash your hands regularly. Is that taken out? Follow the advice of medical practitioners by washing your hands regularly with soap and water on a regular basis. Is that taken out? Good. God bless you all as you remain safe. I am Mr. Olapade Olaliko Moses. See you next time. Bye.